images of Bondi Beach, broadcast repeatedly, both nationally and internationally. Ugly drunken riots, property damage, and violence spilling over into the streets. 3 stabbings, 1 rape, 46 trauma injuries, 23 arrests, 146 surf rescues, 30 tons of litter, and an estimated cleanup bill in excess of $30,000. Creating an image of Bondi as a dangerous and unsafe place for both tourists and local residents alike. Bondi Beach, 1 year later. The Waverley Council contracts MEC, the Magnificent Events Company, to implement a Community Safety Action Plan. This was the Safety Committee's plan to contain drunkenness, ensure better water safety, and manage and control the litter problem. The event was promoted and managed as Sunsplashed, a ticketed beach party in an enclosed portion of the beach, with a license to sell alcohol. As the 10,000-strong patrons began queuing outside, they were greeted with some basic ground rules for the day. This was MEC's first strategy: give clear messages about acceptable behaviour. A bank check prior to entry by professional security removed any contraband alcohol, prohibited or dangerous items. Ticket holders were issued with bracelets, the wearing of which was necessary for the purchase of alcohol. These bracelets could be removed by security from those who were deemed excessively drunk, and thereby controlling binge drinking. Once the ground rules had been established, the crowd occupied itself with its primary goal for the day, having a tremendous amount of fun. Sun, fun, entertainment. Bondi was again showing its true colours. This year, a distinctly different face for the eyes of the media. A volunteer host and hostess program gave the local residents the opportunity to help with the crowd management. They offered free sunscreen lotion as a way of making visitors feel welcome, and so established a host-guest relationship. There were also the extra eyes, ears, and hands for crowd management. As the revelry continued, behind the scenes, other mechanisms of the safety plan were methodically locking into place. Friends of the Earth organised a clean team to progressively remove litter throughout the day. This set a fine example and also sent a clear message that littering in Bondi is unacceptable. Continuous surveillance by rooftop video cameras kept a close eye on any potential trouble spots. Changed traffic conditions kept pedestrians and vehicles moving through the area smoothly, thus avoiding congestion and potential areas of conflict. This relieved the burden on the community services that were so heavily taxed the previous year.
Nothing at all. Very quiet so far.
And the party continued into the afternoon. The next challenge was to move the crowd off the beach and into Bondi Park. This was achieved by the sequential closing and opening of entertainment venues. Hence, the crowd happily followed the trail of fun. A concert in the park was staged, with the crowd enthusiastically taking part.
Sing it loud, people.
Elsewhere, street entertainment further enhanced the crowd movement, away from the beach and toward the evening venues. As dusk fell, a lantern parade through the crowd accentuated the mood of peace and goodwill. An atmosphere that continued into the night with performance entertainment. And, as is tradition, closed with Christmas carols. New Year's Eve was to be the real acid test of MEC's Community Safety Action Plan. Preparations for the evening's festivities began early and continued into the afternoon. This was to be a celebration of extraordinary magnitude. As the 3,500 guests at the black tie function began to arrive, a street parade signaled the beginning of the end of 1996. The police presence was as it should be, discreet, vigilant, and helpful. "12 months ago, Bondi was the scene of vicious riots. But, as 1996 came to a close, 8,000 Bondi residents assembled to watch the pinnacle of the evening's entertainments, fireworks and the burning of an 8-metre effigy of Old Man Time. Out with the old and in with the new, indeed. MEC's Community Action Plan was about more than just creating a safe environment. It was about restoring confidence in the community's ability to work together and solve problems. And it was about building networks of people who care about their community and are willing to act to make the difference.
Christmas, Bondi, one of Australia's premier beaches, hosts the nation's biggest Christmas party.
Oh, we love you.
But last year, some backpackers and so-called rev heads got out of control.
What happened was there was a large crowd with nothing to do, so they created their own entertainment in the worst possible way.
In the wake of the riots, a community was left wondering whether it could do anything to stop what seemed to be becoming an annual tide of violence.
What's happened in the past hasn't really catered for the locals. It is their area. They're the ones that actually live here, and they're the ones that have to sort of put up with what goes on.
I hope not, really. I don't like to see it like last year, you know, because it was tragic what I seen last year.
Bondi is definitely getting the sort of reputation that it's a place to come and it's a place to cause trouble. And it's unfortunate, I think, because it's actually a beautiful suburb.
Well, it's been a long, hard 12 months, and it's got to work this time.
Since the riots, the New South Wales government, local council, business people and residents have got behind an ambitious plan to control the crowds which flock to Bondi during the Christmas season.
Some people wanted barricades put up a couple of kilometres away from Bondi to stop people coming in. Some people sort of thought they had to have almost the army brought out and a huge amount of police presence. But the expert advice that we got on crime prevention was that the best way to go was to have a managed event.
But Bondi has a reputation of being a free-for-all at Christmas time, and the backpackers are already here, ready to party.
Everyone up and you meet all other travellers you meet up and down the coast, they're all coming this way. So it's just like the gathering place for travellers at Christmas, I think.
Have a good time, drink lots of beers and have fun with your friends.
There's an acknowledgement that it's impossible to stop the influx. So instead, Bondi is trying to manage it by having a week-long festival of parades, plays and parties.
And we're going to make it the best beach party in the world. We're going to make this an experience for young people who come to Australia as backpacking tourists. Their entry to Australia is this amazing party where they dance their buns off in the sun and send photographs home to their rels locked up in